Hey everyone, I'm Karnak. This is Star Wars Armada Explained. It's your buddy, it's your pal. Thank you for joining me. So we're going to be looking at the title Tides of Progress today. It's a title for the Munificent, for the Separatists. Now, one thing that I am going to need to deviate from than what I used to do, and this is something I forgot to mention in my video, as you know, I need to make some slight adjustments to how I portray my channel. And one of those is I'm not able to use unofficially supported material that may convey Armada in a sense that is not viewed upon favorably by Asmodee. So I am still coming up with a solution to try to show you guys, like card things, like on a table without using those programs. But that's a problem for future me, not a problem for now. So I'll work on that. But today, Tides of Progress, it's a pretty easy card, so there isn't going to be much need for explanations going on here. Okay, so Tides of Progress, if you look at the title there, you'll see it's got a little dot or bullet point in front of it, signifies that it is unique. You can only ever have one Tides of Progress in your fleet. I know it says X, II, 12, so Tides of Progress 12. Man, how many Tides of Progress does this guy go through? Anyway, so Tides of Progress. Bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the ship icon for the ship it equips to, other than the fact, it's got that cool art there. Opposite corner, you'll see its point cost, which is 2, and again, it's faction-specific for the Separatist Alliance. On the right-hand side, you will see that it has a red bar with a single arrow, and then below it, the number 1 with the repair symbol. So, in a nutshell, what that means is that if you exhaust this card, if you wish to be able to use it again in the future, when it is during the status phase, if you have at least one repair token assigned to that ship, you're able to spend that repair token to unexhaust Tide of Progress so that you may use it moving into the future. But even with just a one-time use of just the 2 points, it's still a good card for what it is, although it does have drawbacks. And we'll get into that. Let's read the card text. Before you meaning that ship, are dealt a face-up damage card with the ship trait, you may exhaust this card to discard that damage card without resolving its effect. So, in a nutshell, what it means is, hey, whenever this ship takes a face-up damage card, regardless of however that's done, whether it be from a ship attack, obstacle, some other kind of effect, if you are dealt a face-up damage card, and that damage card has the ship trait on it, which if you look at your damage card deck, you'll see there's 2 categories. There's ship and there's crew, with ship traits making up about 3/4 of the deck. So again, you get a ship trait, you may exhaust this card, so you turn that sideways when you do that, to discard that damage card without resolving its effect. Now again, this face-up damage card is only if you are dealt it. So it's not if it's turned face up, like for example, if you already have like a damage card on your ship and that's turned face up, that's not the same thing. Okay, because again, dealt is a very particular word. It means what is ever being given to you in that moment. If it's face up with a ship trait, you can exhaust Tide of Progress to discard that card. It does not affect damage cards already on your ship that are turned face up by something like boarding engineers, because that's not redealing the card. That card already has been dealt to your ship. You're just turning it face up and then resolving that effect. Okay, so that's Tide of Progress in a nutshell. Let's go over some facts I have in the KARM. All right. So question, if I already have a damage card already dealt, I answered that already. I remember that. So, no, the card's already been dealt. Again, we covered that. It's not redealt. You need to note that Tide of Progress effect happens before the damage card is dealt, meaning that if you were left at 1 hull point, if that's all you have left is your 1 hull, it would remain at 1 hull point. It would not be destroyed as it discards the damage card before it is dealt. So in some cases, like, if you have 1 hull point left, typically you have to be dealt the damage card, which would then destroy you before doing some other kinds of effects that would remove that damage. In this instance, you are able to remove that card before it is dealt to your ship, which would then immediately destroy you. Now, what I mentioned before about a drawback for Tide of Progress. Per game rules, the damage can just choose to not ever resolve any critical effect against you. like for example, assault proton torpedoes, or even the standard critical. So even if you have no shields left and all you have is just 6 or 5 hull points left, if the attacker attacks you and they do like 2 damage and one of those was a critical symbol, the attacker can say, you know what, I am choosing not to resolve the standard critical effect. I just want to deal straight damage to you. And they can do that. That's totally allowed. It says it right there in the rule book. So that's the drawback to Tide of Progress, is that if your opponent is paying attention, they will just simply choose not to deal any face-up damage cards to you. And then that kind of negates the 2 points. Not to say the card is worthless. It still has benefits. Again, it's only 2 points. But, obviously if you've kit out a Munificent with the reserve battle droids and the Tide of Progress, and it's got Wat Tambor on it, like, people are just going to choose probably not to shoot it, or if they do shoot it, they're just, again, not going to resolve any critical effects on it, because there's kind of not any point, because you could draw, like, structural damage, but then Tide of Progress just chucks it, and then, it just could be very difficult. The only time that I would resolve critical effects against Tide of Progress is if you are attacking it with, like, squadrons. Force that to happen. Or if you have multiple attacks just from ships and or squadrons come in. Because if you can do multiples, it can overwhelm it, because it's only the one-time use until the next round where they can refresh it. So those are some thoughts and ideas about it. But again, like I said, 2 points. I think it's a great card for what it is. If you got spare points, throw it on a Munificent. But that's Tide of Progress. Of course, if you have any questions about how the card works, you can leave a comment in this YouTube video. The new rules forum, we're working very hard, or I should say that AMG is working very hard to get that up and running, and I'm trying to assist with this. Otherwise, again, leave your comment, but in the future, when it is up and running, I will be directing you to post your questions and things to there, if you are still having any obviously questions. But thank you very much for watching the video. Appreciate all of you. I look forward to hearing from you. And again, hey, I'll catch you all next time.